Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode in Arizona Adventure Park. And today's episode is going to be a very special episode because we are going to finish our Indonesian islands. We are building the last habitat on the islands that is going to be the sun bear habitat. As I told you, I definitely wanted to have some kind of a bear in our park as we don't have a bear species in the park yet. So the choice was obvious as I was going to choose the sun bear for this little habitat that we have left on the island here. So it's a lot going to happen in that episode because we not only building the habitat for the Malayan sun bear, we are also building some kind of an entry sign for the area because I thought, we definitely would need something like that in here. As this is some kind of a special area that we have, something like safari zone and something like the world of the apes or monkey world, that we have this huge signage and this gates, this almost like Jurassic Park gates at the beginning. So I thought this is something like a mini habitat or a mini area of the zoo, and I wanted to have something special there. So we are going to build an entry sign here, which I'm very pleased about it, and I really do like how it looks. To be fair, it's not going to be the final situation that you see in the end, but with the beginning of the next episode I'm going to show you how the whole thing looked as I finished it, because I thought I have to do some minor steps here and there to make it look the way I wanted it to look and make it look finished and So, but that is not everything that we are going to do today. We are going to do a lot of gardening once again, because we have to fill in lots of gaps in between here on this island. And we also will build some little or some minor shop area in the middle of the island. So I decided we definitely are going to have another toilet in here, which is very important, you know that. And we are going to have some kind of souvenirs and also some kind of drinks on that area. And also an ATM, because I thought and I noticed that we have the problem with guests not going to certain areas because there is no such thing as an ATM and they ran out of money already in our park. So we had to build some ATMs here and there to make sure that our guests can enjoy their stay in our park and still have money to spend on everything around here. So as you can see, I put down some of our fencing that we already know in here. I put down some more of the faux rock trees to build some kind of viewing areas for our visitors once again. Some with the glass fence where they come really close to the animals. And I also did some dry molds once again here and there so that our visitors can come close to the animals without some kind of a barrier or with a very low builded barrier where they can get very close and have a very how do I call it, a clear view at the animals without any windows in between. So that's what I was going to do. Also copied those fencing around here that we already do have close to the babirusa and also to other animals here in this area. So to close the whole area, pretty nice up. What I also did off cam after this episode was finished, we had also some of the gaps still not constructed or decorated close to the ape house, where here you can see it in the background, where you leave the ape house close to the chimpanzees. I planted some trees in there, but the rest was just unfinished. So that is something that I did off cam, because I thought you already see so many times when I'm putting down rocks and plants, and you don't have to see that. So we're going to have a little look around before the next episode, before we start building the next habitat, which is going to be I'm gonna spoiler you at this point, which is going to be the habitat for the capuchin monkeys. That is right close to the Sunbears. Yeah, right next to the Sunbears, not right close. Yeah. And after that, we are going to have to also have some of the islands that we began to build here, so that we have a similar style in the whole area, where we are going to fit in the siamang and the orangutan. And after that, there is just one habitat. I think there is just one habitat left. There would also be space for a small little habitat. So if you have any idea, or if you wish for an animal that will be placed in this zoo as a last animal, let me know in the comment section, and we definitely have room for that one specific animal more. So yeah, as I said, just leave a comment and I will do my best to fit in the animal as the last one in this park right here. Yeah, and when that is done, the whole park will be closed and we are going to open a new chapter. And the new chapter is definitely going to be something different, because we are not going to build another park in Sandbox, as we still have Waveland Park to finish. If you didn't watch, or if you do not watch Waveland, I can highly recommend you to give it a go, because that park is pretty amazing. There's going to be a link to the newest episode of Waveland Park at the end of the video, so you can check that out. Yeah, we are not going to have another Sandbox series on this channel after Arizona Adventure Park is finished. So we are going to start our very first... No, it's not our very first franchise, but it's going to be a franchise. Our very first serious franchise, because the first one I did with Sandy Dunes was just some try out and stuff like that. So we are going to build a sandbox. Sorry, we are going to build a franchise zoo, which is going to be placed in Australia. So yeah, from today on, you are free to send me in names for our Australian franchise zoo in the comment section. So I would love to hear your ideas what our park should be called. Yeah, and I'm going to give you the chance to vote on that in the next episode, or I'm going to do a little survey in YouTube or on my Discord as well. And yeah, we will choose what the name of the franchise will be. I think I'm going to start with the franchise sometime in late October, I think, late October, beginning of November, so when it's Christmas time around. Yeah, because as you know, I will be in the United States from October 1st on, and I will come back on October 18th or 19th, I'm not quite sure when. And yeah, so there's a lot of pre-production going on right now. I'm building lots of stuff to provide you guys with some videos in the meantime when I'm not here. I think there's going to be one more zoo tour, in which I'm going to visit the zoo in Munich, so you definitely will check that out. And there's going to be some episodes of Arizona, maybe Waveland as well. Not quite sure about that, because right now I'm building for the caiman habitat in waveland, which is really time consuming, and I'm not quite sure if I keep it that way that I began to build it, because I'm not that happy with that. But yeah, we will see. Maybe some waveland, definitely some more Arizona, some more swamp lake. And as I'm going to have my 1 year anniversary of Bake and Play on YouTube, there's definitely going to be some stuff on that 1 year anniversary, which I'm already thinking about what I will give you. So it might be a little bit of an overview what happened in the last year, what milestones we reached with the channel, which I'm very happy about. And there's also definitely going to be some outtakes from my real life series, I would call them, like the baking stuff and also the zoo stuff, with some bloopers. I guess bloopers is what it's called in English. So and there's definitely going to be a video on that. And yeah, a little bit of a celebration. So what you see in the background right now is the signage that I was building for the Indonesian islands. I saw something like this on Google as I was Googling Indonesia and the flag of Indonesia, that I definitely wanted to recreate. I couldn't recreate it the way that I wanted it. Well, maybe I could have done it, but I'm not that patient, so I made it a little bit simpler. So what I did here was building together those art pieces in a circular shape with the red and the white, which is the flag of Indonesia. Write Indonesia around it. I wanted to create something like the Indonesian Islands, as this is the Indonesian island habitat, in the white part of the flag, but I couldn't find the right pieces that wouldn't stick through the whole thing too much, so that they would stick out on the other side. So I decided to not do that and just leave it with this with this writing of Indonesia, and I also put some animal and plant signage underneath it, which you can see right now, like the baby tapir, because the big tapir was a little bit too big. And I also put down a signage from the Malayan sun bear and the babirusa to make it look interesting and nice, and also put a lot of plants around it. And in the end, I'm quite happy with how the whole thing looks. As I told you in the beginning, this was not the final signage on this area, because I thought there was something missing, so I added some reed roof on top of it, and also some wooden planks to make it look a little bit more cohesive to what we have built already in here. And I really do like that, and I said in the comments to the last video, or to the second to last video, that I'm thinking of building something like this a little more often in future zoos, because I really like the idea of this little separated areas with some concrete theming, like we have here in Indonesia. And there's so much more possibilities. You could also build something like a Madagascar island, or stuff like that, and make a little round course inside of it, and make it come back to the main path of the zoo. I really like the idea, and I think I'm going to do that a little more often in the future. Maybe in our franchise in Australia as well. So don't forget about that, guys. Let me tell you what name our franchise zoo in Australia should have in the comment section or on Discord. Okay, so we are almost finished with the signage. As I told you guys, what we have to do, or what we had to do, was a lot of planting with those in between spaces all around the Indonesian islands, which was a lot of work. Yeah, but as I told you, in the end, I'm very, very, very happy how it all came together and how it all looked afterwards. So yeah, I'm pretty happy that I made the decision to extend the monkey world a little bit more, and not just have monkeys in here, as we were not able to build our jungle cruise that I usually wanted to have in the zoo. So I think the Indonesian island part is, yeah, I'm very happy that I built something like that, so that we have our jungle cruise without the cruise, um, at least in a tiny form in the park here. Um, yeah, so I was going to tell you that I wanted to have some kind of a shopping area in here, at the center point. Um, yeah, not really a shopping area, but having a toilet, souvenirs, and also some drinking options for our guests. Drinking options sounds a little bit wrong, so we don't sell any alcohol in the park. I think so. No, with some options for drinks. Maybe that sounds a little bit more better. More better, yeah, better. Never mind. So I decided I wanted to yeah, to build it like that, that you can use the restrooms on one side of the path. You can use the drinks shop on the other side of the path, and you can go for merchandise and souvenirs on the third part of the path. So I hope that this would mean that the whole area isn't too cramped of people, so that they will once again, I don't know the word, so that you will have some people on the left side, some people on the right side, and some people on the center, so that you don't have all the people standing at one place. I hate it when that happens, when I don't know the words. Yeah, that happens to me not only when I'm talking in English, which is not my main language, as you notice when you hear me talking. That also happens to me a lot of times in German, which I think might be a symptom of the burnout that I had and that I recently do have once again. Unfortunately, yeah, I'm suffering from burnout right now once again, which is not that fun, but yeah. Playing Planet Zoo helps a lot dealing with that, because I can, yeah, I can get out of the stress from my all day life and jump into this more comforting and calming world without feeling the pressure to do things or to accomplish certain things, don't have any deadlines or something like that, and just let it flow, just be creative, and also just be distracting from all the stuff that is going on every day and all around you. Yeah, I always was very open about my health situation and my mental health situation in particular, and yeah, I just want you guys to know, if you are suffering from depression, burnout, or have a difficult mental health situation, don't be ashamed about it. Seek help, talk about it, and always take care of yourself. Love yourself, take care of yourself, and if you need a time out, then yeah, take a time out. That is very, very important, because your health is the most important thing that you got in life. And everything starts in your head. So mental health is a huge factor in feeling and being well. And so yeah, always take care of yourself, and always take yourself serious, and listen to your guts, listen to your body, because sometimes it is that we are forcing ourselves to do certain things and to push through things, but it's not always the best thing to push yourself to some things. Sometimes that is more hurtful to yourself, as it might benefit you when you have pushed through. So always think about that. And as I said, your health is the most important thing in life. Everything else comes later. Yeah. So, but back into the game, and I was taking the easy way by using the sunshades that I already built for the habitat of the proboscis monkeys and the Malayan tapirs. The funny thing is that I didn't have any problems here in that habitat with the sunbears. So the sunbears were not able to escape their habitat, as they could climb as well. So I was fearing that when I'm putting down those sunshades in the habitat, that I was going to have the same problems that I was having with the monkeys on the other side. But luckily it is not the case. So our bears are very safe in here, and our guests are safe as well. So we are not going to have some escaping bears in here. Yeah, with that being said, I'm putting down some rocks, or many rocks, in here to make the habitat look a little bit interesting. And what you can see in here as well, this habitat is a little bit on the smaller side, but although it is on the smaller side, I always do have some elevation in the habitat, because if it was going to be just flat, it would look very boring and not that interesting. And it is also very difficult to color the ground with some rock color, or dirt or grass, or whatever you might use when you don't have any elevation in your habitat. So it's always easier to make it look more interesting when you have some elevation, and you color the sides of the elevation with the rock color and with some dirt and stuff like that. So makes the whole thing look more realistic. And what I'm also trying to do with almost every habitat, I might not have done that in the beginning when I started this zoo, because as you can see, working in the game is always having some kind of progress in your working skills, because you learn with every little thing that you build, and you get some inspirations from other YouTubers that you are watching the videos from. I always get some inspiration from some of my fellow YouTubers that I follow and watch their videos, and I'm trying to do not necessarily copying what they are doing, because I feel copying would be wrong, but I'm trying to let me inspire by that and make my own thing out of it. So that's that's the correct term. Yeah, as I said, you are learning with every little bit that you do in the game. So what I try to do is always to have some different viewing areas for your habitats. That's what you see in modern zoos these days as well. So that you have the feeling that you are exploring the habitat. You're not passing by a habitat for a tiger, for example, have a look at it, take a photo, and move on to the next habitat. That is not what zoos want you to do these days. Zoos want you to explore the habitats and have different views and go to that side and look through the glass window and see maybe the cave where the bears are sleeping, and then go around it and have go to some elevated path or something like that, and you have a view at the treetops in the habitat where the bears could climb up to, and then you once again go around the habitat and you have a third view where the feeding area of the bears is, and you can see them feed, or a fourth where you can see them swim, and that's what zoos want you to do these days. They want you to explore it, which is a very great thing. And what I really like about zoos these days is that it's not anymore only about presenting an animal and show the animal to the viewers, to the visitors. It's more about building interesting habitats, giving animals a space where they can hide from the visitors when they have enough of them and just want to rest a little bit, and make the habitat not just interesting for the visitors but also interesting for the animals, so that they have various possibilities with what they can do throughout the whole day. So activity is very, very important, so that you don't see any stereotypes of the animals. That is something you might have noticed when you are visiting some of the zoos recently, or have visited zoos throughout the years. I mean, when I was visiting the zoo when I was a little child, you often could see big cats or bears that had stereotypes, that were walking the same path the whole time and nodding their heads the whole time, especially elephants. That is something that I'm very happy about, that you don't see this behavior that often in these times, because there is so much that has changed throughout the years, and animal welfare in zoos is so much better than it was a few years ago, and it is still to be improved in some ways. But yeah, as I said, so much has happened in the meantime, and so much change for the better, and I'm very, very happy about that. Yeah, but with that being said, here we are in the real-time part. Our bears have arrived. You can see one of them running out here, and here you can also notice that the habitat that was looking so small in the beginning isn't that small anymore, because the Malayan sun bear is the smallest of the big bears. So they have quite much space in here where they can roam around and explore the habitat. Yeah, so here we are at the end of the video. We finished the Indonesian islands with the sun bear habitat. I hope you liked today's episode, and if you did so, please leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the last episodes in this zoo. I would be very happy. And yeah, as I said, let me know in the comments what our Australian franchise zoo should be named. And yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys will have a great time. I hope you guys had a great time by watching this, and I hope to see you in the next video next week. So take care of yourself. Bye.